Hello guys, how's it going? I'm coming with another tutorial, and in this tutorial I want to talk about the LFI scanner tool which I wrote by Python, and I'm not going to explain from scratch because it requires a lot of time, but I don't have it right now. But if you didn't know what is LFI vulnerability and you were like kind of newbie in this field, in the field of penetration testing or bug bounty stuff, the best thing which you can do is simply go for it and search on Google to find out what is this vulnerability and read. Or if you want me to explain it to you, comment me below. So I'm going to share other tutorials in YouTube, so even beginners and people who are kind of newbies or like uh, who are new in this field, they can learn. But this tutorial is for the people who are not new and who are in the field of bug bounty and penetration testing. I'm just going to explain my Python script which I wrote, and I'm going to use this Python script against the vulnerable web app, which is the Portswigger challenge, and I'm going to show you the result, and then I'm going to explain each command which I put in my Python script, explain each of them, and I'm going to tell you how you can use this script to automate your LFI scanning process when you are trying to find a vulnerability, when you're trying to find the local file inclusion vulnerability, and then it's just going to help you guys to find the LFI vulnerability faster and finally report it and earn money. But anyway, the most important thing which you have to know is that you have to have a lot of automation tools, and this one is just going to focus on LFI scanning, LFI vulnerability, and that's not really enough because we have a tons of vulnerability which you need to cover, and some of them you have to focus like deeply and manually. Some of them you can do it like on automation, but the accuracy of that is not like good enough. So you have to combine manually and automation with together. So at the end, you're going to find vulnerability and earn money. So first, I want to talk about the comment which I put in my Python script. We have, let me zoom in a little bit so you can see like better. We have dash f dash u dash p dash t dash c and dash verbose. In a dash f command, user or hacker can put the text file, which contain a list of URLs. So this tool just going to scan and fuzz the default payloads or the private payloads on those URLs, and then give you the result. We have dash u command, which is only for single URL if you wanna just scan the single URL. We have dash p command, which you can provide your private LFI payload list if you want. But if you're not going to provide that, we have like default payloads list, which just has like four payload. But if you want, you can modify the Python script and simply add your own default payload. But if you want to put your own private payload list, you can put it by using a dash p command. We have dash t command, which is like treats dash treats. And if you want to increase the process of scanning, you can simply increase the dash t number, which is the integer, and the default number of that is one. So it's just going to help you to scan your target like a lot more faster. But before that, if for in case you're gonna make sure there is no like firewall or something like that behind the web application, like 99% there is. So you have to use a timeout. However, I didn't put any timeout comment here, but you can use timeout stuff. So your web application target is not going to block your IP address. Or even you can use a proxy command, which I didn't put it here, which I did because I need to spend more time and improve it and add more features. But if you want, you can do it manually and put another command and then create the function about that command, so you can bypass the like You can just avoid from getting blocked by target web location, because it is so necessary if you have a list and tons of payloads, because it's kind of fuzzing tool, right? So we don't want our target web application to block our IP address. You have dash c command if you need to specify your cookies. We have dash verbose command, which is going to like even show each request which will send to each URL, and with a different payload it's just going to show it even if it is not vulnerable. How I'm going to show it to you. So we have like some explanation which I don't want to explain a lot honestly, because it takes just require a lot of time. I just want to show you the result here. If I'm going to open up my CMD, I'm in a desktop LFI scanner, Python LFI scanner dash h, and we have like this command here and description which I explained to you. And simply we have a vulnerable, we have some vulnerable, we are in the Portswigger challenge and we have some vulnerable URLs here, and we have one URL which I know it is not vulnerable to LFI. So I'm going to create a text file and put all of these URLs. This URL which is not vulnerable to LFI, and these three URLs which are vulnerable to LFI. And then try to scan all of these URLs and see if the result of our tool are correct or not. So I'm going to go to my VS Code and then create text file with the name of url.txt. I'm going to put the URL. The first URL, for example, is going to be this. Sorry. Second URL is going to be, for example, this one. The third URL, this one. And the last URL, the URL which is not vulnerable, or even I can put it in the middle if you wanna make sure, just in case. In the middle. So I know this URL, and this URL are vulnerable to LFI with a certain payload, but this URL is not vulnerable. So I'm going to try to scan these URLs and put my text file inside my hacking tool and scan them with the default payloads list and see if it's just going to understand which URLs are vulnerable and which URLs are not. Simply, I'm going to go to my CMD and say Python LFI scanner dash f. We have urls.txt, and I can change it thread number like what the default is one. I don't want to change it, and I can even use dash dash verbose. So you are going to see each request which it will send. As you can see, sending request to this URL, like this URL with a different payload even. As you can see, this payload, different payload, and even we have another different payload. And we couldn't find any vulnerability, and the reason it can be because I'm sure there is a vulnerability here. I'm gonna go back and see if this payload exists in my Python script, like in the default payloads. I think we don't have it. Maybe we have it, but I don't know why I didn't understand. So let me just find out what difference between that one or that one. We have four payloads here, because right now it has to show which yards are vulnerable. So I'm going to do like this again. See, just going to if it's just going to show us or not. It just didn't understand if there is any vulnerability or not, but it has to be vulnerability. Maybe the observe the response contain the content of okay, let me put this payload as well. Maybe this payload we can exploit this vulnerability with this payload. In my VS Code, put this payload as well, because I'm sure this is vulnerable, because it's a Portswigger challenge. So what about now? Python LFI dash F URLs and dash dash variables. And it couldn't scan it, couldn't understand it's vulnerable, but it has to be vulnerable because I'm 100% sure. So what I'm going to do, maybe there is a problem here. Observe that the response contain the content of etc password file. We are 123 etc pass wd, 123 etc pass wd. Let me see why it didn't understand. Even we have these like here. Show you. If I'm going to open it, yeah. Now I got what is the problem. I understand what is the problem. If I'm going to open this URL, this URL just it's not going to open up, as you can see. That's why it's just going to show me it's not vulnerable, but it is vulnerable. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to, because I know why it's not going to open up. Honestly, I know. As you can see, if I'm going to reload each, none of them, none of them are going to load. So I can add another feature in my tool, in my Python script, which first just going to check the status code of that. If that was 200, then try to fuzz those URLs using those certain payloads. So what I'm going to do, because I want to show you how it just going had this tool is just going to work. Simply, I'm going to go to another challenge and put another URLs. Simply, and this one we have, yeah, this access the lab. So this one, yeah, open up this one and this one and even this one. I know this URL is one level, this URL is one level, and this URL is not one level. So I'm going to put all of them here in my VS Code. This one and around this one, which I know is not one level, and this one. Now let's go scan these URLs. Python LFI scanner dash F URLs dash dash verbose is going to show me more with more detail. That's it. As you can see, when I use dash dash verbose, just show me the process of sending each request, as you can see here. And here we have two URL which are vulnerable. And what is these two URL? These two URL, both of them, they have file name parameter, which I told you these URL are vulnerable. These URLs, and it just didn't show product ID is vulnerable because it is not, and I told you it is not vulnerable. So our tool scan these URLs correctly and show the result completely correct, because I told you product ID parameter is not vulnerable to LFI, but file name parameter is vulnerable. And if I'm going to go to my Portswigger as well, here we have, let me see if, as you can see here, congratulations, you solved the lab. However, let me go back like a little bit back if I can see that. Yeah, here, as you can see, the file name parameter is vulnerable, and with this payload s slash etc s slash passively, let me find out if this payload exists in the result. That's it. As you can see, we can see our tool use a different payload, but our tool exploit this vulnerability with this payload. So our tool is working completely correctly. But I want to show you another comment of that, because right now I use dash dash verbose, which just show sending requests and with more detail. But if you don't want to see these like extra detail, what you can do, you can simply say Python LFI dash F URLs, and that's it. Don't use dash dash verbose. If you're going to do that, it's not going to show you like more detail and sending requests to. It's just going to finally show you the result. Vulnerable, and the URL with the payload. That's it. So even if you wanted to make the process like faster, you can simply increase the thread number and the the default tree number is 1. You can increase it, for example, to 5. That's it. If you want to see if you want to like make sure if it really the scanning it the speed of scanning it really change, you can simply say python LFI dash f url dash t file and dash variables, so you can understand the process of scanning, and you can see and you can feel it. You can understand if the process of scanning gets faster or not, and each request sent faster or not. As you can see, the request sent a lot more faster, right? A lot more faster. So our treat comment is working correctly. LFI we have dash payload if you wanna put your own payload list. So simply I can say I hope these websites are not going to block our IP again. Payloads or just get banned again. Payloads.txt, and the payload I wanna write these payloads. Just this one, and then simply say Python LFI dash f urls dash variables no dash p payloads dash variables. Even I can say dash t5 then dash variables. As you can see, it didn't show the vulnerable, like the vulnerable it didn't show the result correctly because I think these websites get down again. But the good thing is that let me see something. Maybe there is a problem. We have dash p payloads.txt, but it's incorrect because it doesn't have to. You just simply put the payloads here which you don't want. So maybe there is a problem. Like definitely there is a problem in my script, which dash p has a problem because dash p it's I don't wanna use dash p command to put the payload like in the terminal. I wanna use dash p command to put the payload which is exist in my text file. So I know how it's just going to work. If you're going to do so like Python, LFI scanner dash f urls dash p swd dash t5 dash variables, then as you can see just use this payload, right? And then we understand these two websites are vulnerable with this payload. But dash p, honestly, it's supposed to be the text file and it's supposed to read the text file and just use each payload which exists in each line of the text file, but it didn't. So I'm going to add another comment. So add another comment which is going to do that. However, with C we can change our payload. Well, I'm going to add another comment like dash p, like dash pf, like payload file. So hacker can put the file which is containing a list of payloads because it's a lot better. And what other comment which we have? URL. You can simply say Python LFI dash u, for example, only this URL. And then you're just going to simply say, I hope it's not going to get down. And you're just going to simply say it's vulnerable with this payload, right? So you can use dash u command for single scan, dash t I told you, dash variables I told you, and dash c if you wanna specify your cookies, you can. But in some website it is necessary, and in others it is not. And that's it. I hope you love this tutorial. You can simply use this Python script and use your hacking tool to make the process of LFI scanning like faster. And imagine that you have tons of URLs with the parameters, and you can just simply put all of them in this tool. So you're just going to scan all of the URLs with the different parameters and tell you if there is any LFI vulnerability in one of those URLs. And I hope you love this tutorial like before. Don't forget to subscribe my YouTube channel, and if you have any other question you can comment me below. Let me show you like my YouTube channel, Security Hunter. I'm Arshia Dev, Security Hunter. That's it. Subscribe me, likes my video, try to watch like videos which I upload, because most of them they are like real world hacking. And if you have any question, comment below. That's it. See you later, guys. Have a good night. However, I don't know, right? Honestly, I don't know here it's night or not, but have a good day.